did. No, we need to cut the okay, now belt it out. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the YWCA's Women of Achievement Luncheon. My name is Ramona Kennyberg, and it is my honor and privilege to be the president of the Board of Directors of the YWCA of Charleston. I would like first to ask all current and past YWCA board members to stand and be recognized for your service. And please keep standing. These women have shown commitment and dedication, and I was going to say I'd ask that you join me in a round of applause, but that's already happened. I ask these women to lead us in reciting the YWCA's mission statement on page 4 of your program. The YWCA is dedicated to eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. This powerful mission statement grounds the work of the YWCA, from our programs serving homeless women and families, survivors of domestic violence, victims of elder abuse, and providing quality child care to low-income working families, to our advocacy on public policy and racial justice. The YWCA established the Women of Achievement Award more than 20 years ago to recognize leaders in the community who are outstanding in their personal and professional achievements, as well as in their contributions to our community. We are honored that many of our past honorees are with us today to celebrate. I ask all past honorees stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. The achievement of the YWCA mission and the crucial services the YWCA provides would not be possible without the dedicated support of our sponsors in the community. Thank you to everyone here today for your ongoing support and commitment to the YWCA. It is my pleasure to introduce one of our key community partners, the title sponsor for this luncheon, the Huntington National Bank. Huntington partners with the YWCA as a member of our Leaders for Change program and provides ongoing support and resources that enable the YWCA to provide high-quality services to the most vulnerable amongst us. Rick Wisner, Community President of Huntington National Bank, joins us today to share his thoughts. Rick is not only a leader in business, he is a leader in making our community a better place to live. Rick, we very much appreciate Huntington National Bank's ongoing commitment to our community and to the YWCA. Rick?
Thank you, Ramona. Wow, is this not a great venue, huh? I'm not sure if we're a sellout, but we're going to call it one because it sure looks like one. Thanks again, and obviously your being here is a befitting recognition of the remarkable achievements and contributions of our 5 amazing honorees, including the Empowerment Award and the Woman to Watch recipients. These guys over here, the G unit, we'll see you in a little bit. As summarized on page 44 of your program, the Huntington National Bank strives to partner with organizations that mirror our own philanthropic program, particularly those that exhibit a passion, dedication, and diligence to their mission and programming, all of which are displayed daily by YWCA facilities and staff in assisting women, and in some case men, getting to a next step in their lives. As you know, our community is facing some increasingly difficult and complex social challenges that require an increasing level of support to address appropriately. So partnering with the YWC and their programmatic initiatives is a really natural choice for us. There are many financial supporters in the room today. You know who you are, and I would like to particularly thank my fellow Leaders for Change. This thing's kind of sensitive. You turn and you're gone. Sponsors who also clearly recognize the value of our YWCA mission and core services. Congratulations to this year's honorees, and please join me, my Huntington colleagues, and a grateful community in thanking Debbie and her staff, Ramona and her board, and all the many volunteers who work tirelessly to sustain the YWCA mission. So sit back and prepare to be truly inspired by the stories of our honorees. Thank you.
I think I need the microphone a little lower. I would like to introduce Reverend Dr. Ravi Isaiah, Director of the Spiritual Care Department at CAMC, who will provide the invocation. Dr. Isaiah is a counselor and Director of Pastoral Care for Charleston Area Medical Center. He and his wife, Loretta, came to Charleston as Methodist ministers in the 1980s. They have 2 daughters and 1 grandchild. Dr. Isaiah is featured in the YWCA Charleston Racial Justice Endowment Campaign, Many Stories, One Future campaign video. We are all human. We are pleased and honored to have him join us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Dr. Ravi Isaiah.
First of all, thank you for this honor and an invitation to be with you. I hope you can hear me. I have a little voice that's aggravating me today. Would you all be in a moment of silence as we pray? Creator and God of us all, you gave life to us and set us free. The women we celebrate today have understood the meaning of perseverance, good work ethic. They have sought out those people in need. They know what it's to be overlooked. They know who picked them out of a crowd and offered them assistance. These are the women who have fulfilled a dream perhaps a generation or 2 ago could not have ever imagined by any little girl. They have been a source of strength, compassion, passion for their work, and fairness because of where they came from. They may never know the many boys and girls who saw for the first time and said, "I didn't know she could do that. I didn't know I could do that." They may never know the many times that people have admired and have never said a word. We are grateful as we celebrate the gifts that you have given and the way in which they have used to serve others. Help us to be resourced by that inspiration so that we may too serve others in the best way that we can. We pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Now, please enjoy your lunch and one another's company, and we will reconvene shortly. Thank you. I know people are still eating, but we're going to get started back up again. I hope you are enjoying your lunch and conversation with your table mates. I see many elected and appointed officials in the room. We appreciate your taking time to join us. Please stand so that we may recognize you for your valuable public service and support of the YWCA. Standing. We would like to thank our first female U.S. Senator for West Virginia, former president of the YWCA Board of Directors, and a YWCA Woman of Achievement, Senator Shelley Moore Capito, for attending today. Shelley? Thank you. As I am sure everyone can appreciate, this event requires the effort of many. I would like to express our appreciation to some of the individuals and organizations who helped make this event happen, beginning with the volunteer committee chaired by Yolanda Tam. I want to thank Steve Payne and Greg Isaacs for their services as photographers. I want to formally recognize the financial supporters of Women of Achievement. Again, our title sponsor, Huntington National Bank, our Empowerment Award sponsor, Brick Street Insurance, and our Breakfast with Champions sponsor, Wells Fargo Foundation. Breakfast with Champions is an incredible event where our honorees meet and for breakfast with fifth grade girls from 4 local elementary schools and inspire and empower them. And it's going to be an event I'm going to miss when I'm not present anymore. Thank you for our benefactor level sponsors, AM/FM Nursing and Rehabilitation Centers, Appalachian Power, Bailey and Wyatt PLLC, and Bailey and Slotnick PLLC, BB&T West Virginia Foundation, Charleston Area Medical Center, Charleston Transitional Care, City National Bank of West Virginia, the Elliott Family Foundation, Comax Business Systems, leaders of the West Virginia State Bar, Steptoe and Johnson PLLC, and TransCanada Corporation. And thank you to all our sponsors. We are most grateful. I ask that everyone review the program and make an effort to support and thank these companies and individuals. I invite each of you to further engage with the YWCA. If you haven't already, please take a moment to fill out the back of your ticket with your contact information and leave it on your table or drop it as you leave. It is my pleasure now to introduce you to the YWCA of Charleston Chief Executive Officer, Debbie Weinstein. As many, if not all of you know her firsthand, she is a powerful force for social change and a dedicated advocate for the mission and work of the YWCA. Deb?
Thank you.
Can I hug you?
Of course, anytime. Thanks. Thank you all. The work of the YWCA stretches far and wide and goes very deep. It has to if we are going to make effective and long-lasting change with the 5,000 children and adults that we work with every year as we fulfill our mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. We could not do our work without you, our supporters and donors, as well as the many volunteers, board of directors, and staff that we have. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our senior management team at the YWCA, whose boots on the ground enable this work to be successful. Staff, please stand when I call your name, and all please hold your applause until after I announce everybody. Lynn Fish, Chief Program Officer. Jennifer Goddard, actually, is the Chief Program Officer, and Lynn Fish is our Chief Financial Officer. Eva Jones, Human Resources Director. Michelle Lewis, Director, and Sarah King, Manager of Development and Marketing. Andrea Thaxton, Executive Assistant. Kyla Nichols, Director of the Alicia McCormick Transitional Housing, the Shanklin Center, and the Empowerment Homes. Margaret Taylor, Director, Sojourner Shelter for Homeless Women and Families. Jenna Elmore, Director, Mel Wolf Child Development Center. Julie Hayden, Director, Resolve Family Abuse Program. And Deidre Keys Switzer, Director, Racial Justice Program. Thank you all so very much for your hard work. This year at Women of Achievement, we're going to share with you a glimpse into the work of one of our top 2 mission priorities, the elimination of racism. I would like to introduce Kitty Dooley, who I think we have lived with each other about every day of the year. Kitty is a YWCA board member, a chair of the YWCA Racial Justice Committee, and co-chair with the extraordinary Elizabeth Pellegrin, former YWCA president of the Many Stories, One Future YWCA campaign to end racism. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb, and good afternoon. Our heartfelt congratulations to the Women of Achievement for 2019. It is my privilege and pleasure to speak to you about the racial justice commitment of the YWCA from this point forward. You have brochures on your desk, on your tables that were put together by Elizabeth Pellegrin's team for the marketing campaign to eliminate racism and to raise enough money to ensure that this work lasts into perpetuity. It is a fact that racism is not dead. It is a fact that racism in this country permeates everything that we do. And as a consequence, the work of the YWCA is to eliminate racism, but in doing that, we have to touch each and every facet of our society. The YWCA, over the course of the last year, has begun that work internally because it's important that the programs at the YWCA, that its staff, its board, and all of the volunteers understand the history of racism and how that impacts this country from its beginning until today. And so over the course of the last year, we've had racial justice training in the area of implicit bias. We have put together a strategic plan to take us through the next 5 to 7 years regarding how we will bring that message to the community of Charleston and to Boone and Clay counties. That includes training, that includes what we call Conversation Cafe, where we discuss issues regarding racism and how things are happening in our society that we need to impact. That also includes corporations and their employment practices. It includes education and how we look at issues around discipline and educating people who look differently from the majority individuals with which they deal. And so, as you understand the issues of race and racism, and you begin to be educated about these issues, then you understand the work that is to be done is both difficult, our work is ambitious, but it is work that definitely has to be done. And I believe that the YWCA is the organization to bring this message to the larger environment, and we are committed to do that work. That is why, thank you. That is why, through the vision of our CEO, an endowment campaign has begun to raise $1 million to support each and every one of the efforts I've discussed as more, in addition to additional ones as they move forward. And we are well on our way to that. On February 25th, we had our foundation kickoff and announced that we had raised $500,000 toward that campaign, and our lead contributors are here today. Brick Street and BB&T, they're out in the fore of this effort, and we appreciate them, as well as ask each of you to follow their lead. And so as we look toward that, the process, One thing that you all will need to understand, and we are really excited that we are all a part of one race, and that is the human race. And at this point, I'd like to introduce a video that is really the key to the work of racial justice with the YWCA.
We're all human. We all experience joy and sadness. We all experience moments of great accomplishment. We all experience injustice, though for some, that thread of injustice may run through the entire fabric of our lives. We are all the same inside, and yet we're all unique and individual on the outside.
It's only in the last couple of years that there's an uprise in the complaints in our system. And not only that, with my circle of friends who are ethnic minority, and they've also sensed that little bit of timidness and a little bit of fear, wondering what's on somebody else's mind and what they think about who you are.
I had never really even been called the N-word until I moved to West Virginia, even though I had been other places and for years. It wasn't like I didn't know about the word and had never heard it, which I had, but to actually be called it, by your people you went to school with, it kind of framed everything for me.
In my early teen years is when 9/11 occurred, and we noticed a sudden dramatic change in opinions and just the outward emotion being displayed by people. And so it was hard. It was a challenging time, especially with all the other changes you go through as a teen. You find yourself being extra cautious of your actions and your conduct. You do tend to get used to being the elephant in the room.
After being 14 years in a country where everybody looked like me, and coming here and understanding that there's something different about you, I think the first thing that I noticed was that I was made fun of because I couldn't speak English right.
I'm, I don't know, 4th generation American, and yet just because my skin's a little bit darker and because I'm Hispanic, people assume that I was born and raised in Mexico, maybe.
So in terms of trying to combat that kind of implicit racism, where the underlying notion that the people have is that this is right, this is good, I'm a good person, I'm not doing anything wrong.
This issue of racism, to me, it's not about me anymore, because at my age, I think I've already experienced a lot of injustices, but it's about my friends, about my granddaughter.
In the South, the racism was not implicit, it was demonstrative. I mean, it was in your face, and people made no apologies for it. In fact, if you weren't a racist, you were kind of not in the mainstream. And I move up to the north, and everything's more subtle. Nobody calls you a bad name in front of your face. They whisper it when you leave.
So, when it comes to having a champion for race, equality, and social justice, like the YWCA and the types of work that they're trying to do, it really matters that they're having that kind of conversation internally and then externally within their community.
We have many separate stories, and together we have one future. We are all human.
the voices of those affected to be heard by the voices of those who are disaffected. And so we invite you to support this journey in many, many ways. One is to make a contribution to the endowment campaign directly. For those whose resources are limited, 24 by 24, that will get you to a contribution after 2 years of $500, around that mark. And in June, the 22nd of this year, during Festival, we're going to have urban rappelling off of the BB&T building, and there are slots for up to 100 people, and we will be joined, I'm told, by Senator Capito, who is going over the edge with us. And her husband has indicated he's going as well. So Deb and I will be going, and we hope that you all will go to the YWCA's website and join us in the effort to raise money for our endowment campaign. And if you do not want to go yourself, please feel free to sponsor others. Also, the last Saturday in April, we will have our 3rd annual Race to End Racism, a wonderful, diverse event. If you have not participated, this is your opportunity to either do a 5K on the west side or a 1-mile walk with the rest of those folks of us who won't run the 5K to come out and show people that Charleston is an accepting, diverse place to live, and that racial justice is what we are all about. So we invite you to look at the campaign materials that you have on your tables and to look at any way that you can support this endeavor. We appreciate the time and the attention to this great subject. If you have any questions, feel free to ask any of the board members or to look on the YWCA's website. Thank you so much.
I'm short too, so. Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Kraus. I'm the treasurer on the board of directors for the YWCA Charleston. I'm really happy to be here today. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm here to actually introduce you to Kelly Schaefer, this year's Woman to Watch. I told her the other day that I was racking my brain for an embarrassing anecdote that I could share with you today about her, but she really doesn't have any, so that's a little annoying. I met Kelly in 2009 while working my summer internship at Suttle & Stoniker, the accounting firm she had worked for since she graduated from college, and the firm we still both work for today. I knew pretty quickly that I had just found a great role model. Her involvement with her community, her relationships with her friends and family, her self-respect and the respect she holds for others inspires me regularly. And I'm happy to also be able to call her my friend. Kelly is a CPA and has worked at Suttle & Stoniker since 2004. She has been honored by the West Virginia Society of CPAs as both the 2015 Kathy Eddy West Virginia Young CPA of the Year and the 2017 Women to Watch Emerging Leader. She is also the most recent addition to the member group of Suttle & Stoniker. It's important to note that while women have represented more than 50% of accounting graduates entering the profession for the past 20 or so years, fewer than 20% of partners in accounting firms in the United States are women. Over the course of her professional career, Kelly has participated in both Leadership Kanawha Valley and Leadership West Virginia. She has also generously volunteered her time and talents to nonprofit organizations that serve our community, including the Kanawha Pastoral Counseling Center, the Glotfelty Foundation, the Religious Coalition for Community Renewal, and Education Elevators. Excuse me. Thank you. It has been a privilege knowing and working with Kelly for the past 10 years. She is humble but ambitious, poised and confident, quiet but purposeful. I feel like she has somehow been one of the Kanawha Valley's best kept secrets, but I think now the secret's out. Please help me welcome my friend, my boss, and this year's Woman to Watch, Kelly Schaefer.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. You make me sound so good. I just want to first start out today by saying that it's such an honor to be recognized among this amazing group of women. Over the last few months, I've had the chance to get to know them, and they just really are so impressive. So it's humbling to be up here with them. I was trying to decide what I wanted to talk about today, and then I actually heard Debbie Weinstein say something the other day that inspired me. She was speaking to a group of young girls, and she was telling them about people in life that she calls elevators. And she said those are the people that are always going to be in your corner, and they're always going to lift you up and believe in you and try to make you better. So that made me start thinking about the people who have been elevators in my life. And once I started thinking about it, I realized that I'm very fortunate because there really are a lot of them. From my family, who has always supported me, especially my parents, who taught me that I can achieve whatever I want if I work hard enough, and that if I'm going to do something, I should give it my all. To teachers I've had over the years who have pushed me to be better and achieve my potential, and friends that are always there to lift me up if I have a bad day or cheer me on in my successes. And many of them are here today supporting me. To my coworkers that constantly help me to be a better CPA, many of them have been mentors to me over the years and are always there to give great advice. I always say one of my favorite things about my job is that I still learn something new almost every day, and I couldn't do that without them. And the YWCA, they are an elevator to all of us that are sitting up here today being honored, lifting us up and celebrating our accomplishments. You know, in the last few months leading up to today, I've had the opportunity to learn more about the YWCA and really see firsthand the important work they do. They truly do empower all the women in our community, and I just can't say enough good things about what they do. So I want to thank the YWCA for this honor as a woman of achievement, and I want to thank everyone who's been in my corner over the years and helped me to be standing up here today. And I think what this award means to me is confirmation that I'm also someone that elevates others and is making a difference. So thank you. This really is an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Twanette Jenkins, First Lady of West Virginia State University and board member of the YWCA. It brings me great pleasure to recognize 2019 Women of Achievement honoree, Brigadier General Paige Hunter. Brigadier General Hunter is the Assistant Adjutant General and Commander for the West Virginia Air National Guard. According to Professional Associate Michael Ramsey, Brigadier General Hunter is an extremely effective leader whose drive and vision have taken the West Virginia National Guard to new heights while keeping the organization among the best in the nation. Brigadier General Hunter was the first female to be chosen for most of her positions within the West Virginia Air National Guard. And as a human resource officer, she spearheaded the implementation of a new diversity committee, which impacted more than 6,000 soldiers and airmen in the West Virginia Air National Guard. Brigadier General Hunter is a regular volunteer at the YWCA, working with the Sojourner Homeless Shelter and victims of domestic violence. quite often she can be found working one-on-one with those in need of learning interviewing skills and coordinating donations to the shelter. Brigadier General Hunter's career continues to prove there are no boundaries, and the once limited reach of military women is truly limitless. She continues to challenge the potential realm of possibilities without apologies to achieve greatness. Both her professional colleagues as well as the YWCA feel that she is not only a role model to young women, but also a mentor for those who wish to seek success regardless of their gender. Join me in honoring 2019 Women of Achievement nominee, Brigadier General Paige Hunter. Thank you.
She said to get the mic close. Should I just use my command voice? Can y'all hear me? Okay. Well, good afternoon. I'm sincerely honored and humbled to be selected as a Woman of Achievement by the YWCA committee. I can't imagine another venue full of more talented, inspiring, or empowering leaders, and I truly appreciate being included among you. Now, while I stand before you, named as a Woman of Achievement, I have to tell you, my career achievements are not really about me. I represent a whole host of people who have supported and assisted me because I believe none of us achieves by ourselves. Success in our journeys is a group effort. As for my journey, I was blessed with parents who provided me a very solid foundation. They instilled strong principles and work ethic in me. They always supported me and believed in me, and they always told me I could do or be anything I wanted. I just needed to work hard for it. I'm also blessed to be married to the only perfect man on the planet. Sorry, ladies, I got him. Sorry. He has always believed in me, always supported me in every endeavor. No matter what I wanted to try or do, he always said, well, yeah, you can do it. So he's always supported me, and I appreciate that. I have a whole host of friends who have come to every event, supported everything I've done, and they're all with me today. Thank you. Now, when I joined the West Virginia Air National Guard several decades ago, there were very few women, and there was no possibility of becoming a general. It was not a thought, let alone a discussion. I had no female role models. I had no superiors who supported or mentored me. I was fortunate, however, to have peers and subordinates who took me under their wing, taught me the ropes, showed me how everything worked. Now, they were all junior to me in rank and position, but they were all senior to me in experience and expertise. So I listened and I learned, because that's what mentoring is. It's the sharing and receiving of expertise and experience. And I believe strongly in mentorship. And I consider us all mentors, regardless of position or age, because we all bring our unique talents and skills to the fight. And sharing what we know with those around us enhances their lives, enriches ours, and strengthens our organization. Now, in addition to being so well mentored by those folks, I finally encountered a progressive leader who believed and still believes in equality and opportunity for everyone, opportunity for all. General Hoyer assigned me to a variety of positions that made me more well-rounded and allowed and prepared me for upward mobility. He then placed his confidence in me as the commander of the West Virginia Air National Guard, and as you heard, the first female to hold that position in the history of West Virginia. And I have recently Well, my retirement party is tonight. So, and as my successor, General Hoyer named Brigadier General Chris Mookie Walker to command the West Virginia Air National Guard, and he's the first African American to hold that position. So he and I are fortunate to be part of an organization that epitomizes the charter of the Y, empowering women and doing away with racism. So I've been blessed and I've been fortunate to have been supported and mentored to success and to have been provided opportunities to progress and to excel. And I am so grateful to my family, my friends, my comrades in arms, for all their support and all their belief in me. And again, I am so humbled and honored to be counted among these amazing women and this amazing group of people who believe in lifting each other up and mentoring everyone to success. And I look forward to helping continue the great programs of the Y. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Joan Phillips. As a child advocate and medical director of the CAMC Children's Advocacy Center, Dr. Joan Phillips has proven herself to be fearless, focused, and unfailingly generous, helping thousands of children in our community. Joan was born and raised in the Elkins area, the oldest of 7 children born to an Italian immigrant family. She grew up helping out in the family's local store. And I have to tell you, I'm adding this over lunch today. We found out our families are from the same small area of Italy, Abruzzi. So that was very exciting. We have more to talk about. From an early age, she knew she wanted to be a doctor, and indeed went on to attend medical school at West Virginia University. Her mother had always told her she would be a pediatrician, and as fate would have it, her first rotation was in pediatrics, and she knew she'd found her niche. Between 1983 and 2005, Dr. Phillips managed a thriving pediatrics practice, served as an officer with the West Virginia American Academy of Pediatrics, and actively raised 2 daughters as a single parent following the death of her husband in 1987. In the 1990s, she attended a conference that included information about child abuse and neglect. Seeing an unmet need in the community, Joan began training in order to specialize in sexual abuse work. She then began taking over the work, working 2 days a month in addition to her regular workload just to cover cases. In 2005, Dr. Phillips retired her pediatric practice and shifted her professional focus full-time to advocacy efforts for victims of child abuse and neglect. She played a principal role in opening the Children's Advocacy Center at CAMC Women and Children's Hospital. Since opening its doors in 2005, the center has provided evaluation and treatment to thousands of children from Kanawha and surrounding counties. In addition to interviews and medical evaluations, it offers compassionate, cognitive therapy to reduce the trauma often experienced by children that are victims of abuse. And families are never charged for their services at the center. It's been such an asset in the community that other programs throughout the United States have visited and modeled other advocacy centers after the one that Dr. Phillips helped develop. Over the last 20 years, she's also played an important role in expanding child advocacy efforts in our own state. Working closely with the West Virginia Child Advocacy Network, she has lent her time and expertise to build an infrastructure for helping children in situations involving neglect and abuse. There are now 21 child advocacy centers throughout West Virginia that are a part of the network. In her daily work, which she continues, Dr. Phillips oversees sexual abuse cases in the center and sees physical abuse cases in the hospital. Dr. Phillips has helped countless children, from victims of abuse struggling in the darkest moments of their lives to young patients with a fever and a sore throat. Regardless of the issue, her kind, skilled approach ensures that all the children receive compassionate care and are on their way to healing. Thank you, Dr. Phillips, for your legacy of healing and your leadership in the advocacy and protection of children. Congratulations on being named a 2019 YWCA Woman of Achievement.
STRESSED, stressed. DESSERTS, desserts. Same letters, but different meaning if you spell them forward or backward. But stress in moderation can be a positive thing, even though it is deemed negative, and dessert's certainly a positive end to a meal. But stress can be a motivator to work hard, to talk in front of 600 people, a motivator to work hard, to pass a test, to prep for a job interview, to complete a project. Stress that is short-term and not life-threatening is a positive force. But toxic stress is an entirely different animal, and that stress is severe and prolonged. Toxic stress can actually change the body chemistry response and actually change the brain structure, so learning and behavior can be forever changed. Suffering toxic stress are the kids who are in constant duress from domestic violence, from being hungry, from food scarcity, from abuse, from drug exposure and the dysfunction, and certainly the neglect that follows. They're in a hyper state of alert. They don't sleep at night because of fighting or because of strangers in and out of their homes. They're hungry, and they're constantly on edge, trying to avoid the next physical trauma. Not a scenario for good learning, and we know a lifelong risk for health and mental disorders. But it's not all gloom and despair. There is this dessert called resiliency. Resiliency, as defined by the AAP, is the process by which a child moves through a traumatic event, utilizing protective forces of support to return to normal emotional and physiologic health. So those protector factors can be being valued and believed, cognitive ability, and support and mentoring. The question is, how do we do that in our daily encounters? Being believed and valued. We believe the children who are brave enough to come to the CAC and tell their story. And we engage those who help them heal. We see the visible relief for these kids. Value those who serve you. The teen who's bagging your groceries at the store may be going to school with a day and then working at night to provide food or basic necessities at home. Look at their name tag. Call them by name. Thank them for bringing in the grocery carts out of the rain and standing on concrete for long hours just to serve you. Or the waiter or waitress who may have left the children at home alone so that they could work so the power wouldn't be shut off. Smile at them. Thank them. And would an extra $5 really make a difference above the usual tip to your budget? It certainly may to theirs. Build on cognitive abilities. The YWCA has a program called Girl Talk, where they mentor 9th grade girls through high school who may be at risk for not completing their education. The girls are paired with a volunteer professional woman, who encourages and supports them to find their way to stay focused and complete their goal of education. They help connect them with tutors or credit recovery or costs for tests or courses. In 2017 and 2018, 2 groups completed the 4 years of mentoring. 17 girls were supported. 2 had babies when they were in high school, and 1 removed herself at age 18 from a toxic situation. 15 graduated with their class, and 2 received equivalent GED diplomas. All 17 teens were at extreme risk for not completing their education, but they did it. They were shown that they had cognitive ability, that they could achieve despite challenges, and it just took someone who believed in them. Support and mentor. Support that child throwing a tantrum, or that obstinate kid at school, or the teen who's very distant, or the old lady down the street who yells at everybody. Don't say to yourself, what is wrong with you? Think, what has happened to you? Seek to learn their stories and support them. Many in this room have helped my girls and I through a very stressful time. As Elizabeth said, my husband, their dad, died instantly in a motor vehicle accident. And I recall our youngest, with the big eyes of a 6-year-old, saying, but Mommy, who's going to kill the spiders? And I said, honey, we'll have to. And through all of your love and support, we became resilient. We have killed many spiders, literally and figuratively, and we would not have done it without your support. In the continued circle of resiliency, our oldest daughter and her husband, in their 20s, welcomed into their home and hearts a homeless teenager. That teen is now a young adult who is serving other at-risk children in youth ministry. So my challenge to you is, what can you do to foster resiliency? You've already begun by being supportive of this event and the programs of the YWCA. But don't let the dessert be the last thing you take from here. Look for ways to impact resiliency. It may be a commitment to a volunteer program, or one small word of encouragement, one smile, one act of kindness. I am really humbled to have been honored today. My career is more than a job. It is my ministry, and it certainly is not something I could do alone. I am very proud to work with a very dedicated, compassionate group of professionals that I am very proud to call my coworkers. So the work of resiliency has begun, but paraphrasing Robert Frost, we have miles to go before we sleep. Miles to go before we sleep. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tessa White, and I have the honor of introducing Misha Poor as a 2019 Woman of Achievement. Misha attended Howard University in Washington, D.C., law school at Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and earned a certificate from the Women's Campaign School at Yale University. She began her career at the Kanawha County Public Defender's Office and now has her own law practice in Charleston. Misha has broken through many glass ceilings. I couldn't fit them all in 2 minutes, but here goes. She was the first person in her family to go to college and the first to become a lawyer. The first minority to represent the 37th District of the West Virginia House of Delegates, and the first African American woman to be elected president of the West Virginia State Bar. She serves as co-chair of the Charleston YWCA's Racial Justice Committee and the vice president for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at West Virginia University. She has worked with People for the American Way in D.C. and was a director and debate coach for the West Virginia Democratic Party. She has served as an adjunct professor at West Virginia State University and is a faculty member in residence at the Center for American Women in Politics at Rutgers University. The list goes on, and she looks young enough to be a student herself. Misha is the epitome of the YWCA's mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. When described, she is spoken fondly as a servant leader, inspirational, faithful, passionate, and a true hero. I'll end with a quote by Misha herself that was in the context of guiding students to become lawyers, but can be used here today. Don't let anyone tell you what the law looks like. Just know for yourself that you want to be a part of it. And if you want to be a part of it, go for it. No limits, no restrictions. Go for it. Make your mark. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming Misha Poor as a 2019 YWCA Woman of Achievement.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is absolutely an honor to be standing here in front of 600 people celebrating women. I do appreciate you coming out, and I know that they put us on the program. But the reality is you're here to celebrate an organization that fights for women and fights to eliminate racism. So let's give that a round of applause. I am extremely humbled to be given this opportunity. I know it's not done lightly, and so I definitely appreciate the YWCA. I appreciate the women that have been able to share this opportunity with me. It has been a pleasure to get to know you with all of our opportunity, the trips and events that we've done. It's been a pleasure, so I appreciate you too. I want to thank my friends around the room. I have certain tables, but I definitely see a lot of friends that I've been able to hug today. So let me first thank my West Virginia University family who are here, my West Virginia State Bar presidents that are here. It really does make my heart warm to know that you're here, and my family and friends that are here. I could not do any of the things that I've been blessed to do without your love and support. Throughout the different journeys of our life, I know we all have seasons, and you all have been a big part of each of those for me. And most importantly, I love my mama, so I gotta say thank you to my mommy. She is amazing, and to my father who is in heaven, I certainly am loved and supported, and I could not do this without you. Oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional. I have been blessed with so many things, and not every single blessing comes with money. Not every blessing comes with a title, and not every blessing comes with acknowledgement. It comes from your heart. It comes because we have a mission, because we have a cause, and because we were born for this. And when I say born for this, we can't always define what that is. But you each have a gift in you. You each have a talent in you that is only defined and placed in you by the one in which you call the above. I call him God. You may call him something different. But you have something that is unique to you. And when you think about this mission of racial justice, when you think about this mission of women empowerment, you have to look first at yourself. What can I do to make a difference? What can I do to make this state better? And what can I do to make my community better? Do not get offended by the things that you learn about yourself. Self-reflection is the thing that makes us stronger. It's your responsibility to dig deep, to see the things in which you need to change. Because in order for this state to be exactly what we all know it can be, where mountaineers are always free, it is important for you to be able to do the work internally first. YWCA has done a lot of programming to make sure that we have that opportunity. The implicit bias trainings that they do, the racial justice campaign that they've just launched, the repelling on June 22nd. There are all kinds of different ways that you can meet yourself exactly where you are and find your place. We all have to do this work. It can't be done no matter your age, your race, or your gender. It all has to be done collectively together. When you think about business and companies, the human capital, what you present to these companies, we are a better state, we are a better community when we have diverse voices at the table. It is important that we understand that, and that is not just something that is said, it is something that is documented. It is something that is true. And so my charge to you, if you are here to celebrate me, I ask you to do this for me. Take the challenge to seek information for yourself. Do not be afraid of what you find out about yourself, but be clear to correct those things that you don't like. Understand that you have a part to play in this thing that we call life, and that you can make that difference. And so I ask you to stand with the YWCA. I ask you to stand with the communities as we begin to fight this challenge to end racism. We all have something to do, and we all can do it together. Thank you so very much.
Brick Street Insurance is the proud 11-year corporate sponsor of the YWCA's Annual Empowerment Award. At Brick Street, we believe our success is dependent on how we conduct ourselves in the marketplace, and just as importantly, in the communities we serve. The partnership between Brick Street and the YWCA is an inherent fit. Our organizations both provide support and services to individuals who have been adversely impacted by events in their lives. Our end goals are nearly identical: to foster community involvement, build relationships, promote the quality of life, and make a positive difference. The Empowerment Award recognizes women who have faced struggles and overcome obstacles with help from the YWCA to flourish. This year's Empowerment Award winners are doing just that. They're part of a special unit with the Charleston Police Department. And while they won't be pulling you over or arresting you, make no mistake about it, they're on a very special mission: to spread hugs and love. The Grandma Unit, also known as the G Unit, is made up of 11 women who live at the YWCA. Their unfortunate common bond is that they are all former victims of elder abuse or domestic violence. But it is their pasts that have given them renewed focus and purpose. Please direct your attention to the screens to see the Grandma Unit in action.
Roberta, Anita, Melissa, Beulah, Mary, Connie, Dreama, Mary, Glenna, Linda, Karen. These 11 women are the Grandma Unit, G Unit. They all live at the YWCA Shanklin Center for Senior Enrichment. All 11 women have at one time been victims of elder abuse, domestic violence, or chronic homelessness. The Shanklin Center allows them to live their lives in dignity and peace. But these ladies never let their past experiences bring them down. With the help of the Charleston Police Department, they were sworn in on December 21st, 2016 as the G Unit. Together, they spread love through the community, one hug at a time. Their kindness and love has inspired everyone they have met, giving joy and hope. They are a constant reminder that it's not our past that defines us, but rather what we give back despite of it.
Here's a hug. Spread the love.
I think it's only fitting that their social media tagline should be #KickingCrime one hug at a time. On behalf of Brick Street, it's my privilege to recognize these special ladies with this award. Please join me in giving a great big air hug to the 2019 Women of Achievement Empowerment Award recipients, the Grandma Unit. Accepting this award on their behalf is Kyla Nichols, Program Director of the YWCA Shanklin Center for Senior Enrichment and YWCA Empowerment Homes.
Thank you, Kylie. Several years ago, the YWCA started to notice a growing number of seniors that were entering both our homeless and domestic violence shelters. This prompted the questions of what is the cause of their homelessness and what is the solution. Sadly, the cause was elder abuse. The YWCA felt it was our mission to create a program that would not only provide safe, affordable housing, but an environment in which to heal and thrive. With the vision and leadership of our CEO, Deb Weinstein, as well as members of the board of directors during that time, such as Ms. Fonda Elliott, who chaired the program committee that created the Shanklin Center, the vision of such a program became a reality. In November 2004, the YWCA opened its doors to the Shanklin Center for Senior Enrichment. The first facility of its kind in West Virginia, the Shanklin Center and Empowerment Homes consist of 11 apartments that provide permanent housing with supportive services for disabled seniors who have been victims of elder abuse, domestic violence, or chronic homelessness. Each unit is fully wheelchair accessible, has a front porch, and shares a common courtyard, which allows residents the opportunity to be a part of a community of peers while offering the privacy of an individual home. We've been fortunate to develop some outstanding community partnerships over the years, one of which is with the Charleston Police Department. As I was thinking about our relationship with the Charleston Police Department, it made me think of our first encounter that we had with them at the Shanklin Center. It was our very first 2 residents in the program. I just happened to be walking through the courtyard one day, and I hear Elvis Presley blaring, windows up, them singing from the top of their lungs and dancing like they're auditioning for America's Got Talent. About that time, a Charleston PD officer walks through the gate of the courtyard, and he proceeds to tell me that they've received a noise complaint for our address. And of course, it's at that moment when the song changes to none other than, and I promise, true story, Jailhouse Rock. That was one of the first of a lot of very memorable moments at the Shanklin Center. Since the program has opened, the Charleston Police Department has been a tremendous help and support to us, which brings us to how the Grandma Unit came to be. Corporal Errol Randall birthed the idea of the Grandma Unit. After taking a tour of the Shanklin Center and meeting with the ladies, we immediately decided that there was great potential for a partnership, but we just weren't sure what that looked like. About a week later, I received a call from a very excited Corporal Randall saying that he had the perfect idea. And did he ever? On December the 21st, 2016, the ladies were officially sworn in for duty. They were given official G-Unit shirts and badges. Their motto is, "Here's a hug, spread the love." Their mission is to spread love within the community. The ladies have really embraced their duty. They go out into the community, they make a difference, and they really touch the lives of everyone that they encounter. They believe in their motto, "Here's a hug, spread the love." And they really do give the best hugs. And in this day and time, this is really what people need. As humans, we are made to be connected to one another. That's how we thrive, and that's what these ladies do. Sometimes it's just the smallest act of kindness that someone needs to brighten up their day. And the Grandma Unit goes out into the community, and they give these genuine smiles and these heartfelt hugs, and it makes people feel good. It makes people realize that there is still good in the world. This is the Empowerment Award, and these ladies really are the embodiment of empowerment. Not only have they empowered themselves to overcome profound challenges due to the great tragedies in their lives, but they are an example of empowerment for everyone. An example that you can overcome situations that you are in. An example that there is always hope. More specifically, believable hope. Believable hope that comes from seeing others overcome situations similar to our own and realizing that we can do the same. For the ladies at the Shanklin Center, it's believable hope that comes from being embraced and welcomed into an unconventional family made up of a community of their peers. Believable hope that they no longer have to be chained to their past, giving them the confidence and the courage to go out into the community to encourage others to find believable hope. The ladies of the Grandma Unit, despite the struggles that they have endured, are thriving in their environment, some enjoying the best years of their life. Everyone has something, some struggle, some trauma, some issue with which you have to deal with. It's how you choose to deal with that something that makes you who you are. The ladies of the Grandma Unit have chosen to go out into the community and make it a better place, one hug at a time. These ladies exude so much strength and love to one another and to everyone that they encounter. It is with tremendous honor and privilege that I introduce to you the 2019 Empowerment Award honorees, the Grandma Unit. Ladies, if you will please stand and be recognized. Let's have one more hand for our Empowerment Award recipient this year. Thank you very much for the privilege of being your 2019 Chairwoman of Women of Achievement. Eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for everyone. Thank you to our honorees for living this mission and more. Thank you to Huntington Banks. Thank you to Brick Street, and thank you to Wells Fargo Foundation for supporting this mission and sharing the vision that the YWCA has for being the premier nonprofit leader in empowering women and eliminating racism. Thank you to all of our sponsors today. Thank you to each of you for being here. May you leave here empowered, inspired, and proud of what you can do. Thank you very much.